Hello and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the third grade concept of comparing fractions. This is standard 3.3H in the great state of Texas. We're using item number 28 of the 2018 released STAAR test. If you have not done so already, please go ahead and take a moment to pause the video, work this problem out on your own, and then we will look at our answers together. So we have two models here, two circles. They are the same size. That's always going to be important because we are going to have to compare fractions. And when we're comparing fractions with models, we want to make sure the two pictures are the exact same size. It really wouldn't work if we wanted to compare fractions, let's say, of squares, and one square is big and one square is small. That would be very difficult. So we need to have two circles that are the exact same size, and then each circle is divided into equal size parts, so they are good fractional pieces. It would not work if we were to compare fractions, and in one of the fractions we've got pieces that look like this. We've got something along the lines of this. It doesn't work because each fraction is not the same size. Each piece does have to be the same size. So we're good to go with these two circles here. We've got two fractions. Let's make sure we understand what we're going to name these two parts. The numerator is always the top number, and in this case it says right here, it's going to be very important for us to see that we're looking at the shaded portions, not the unshaded. And if you don't read that, you can make the mistake. And then the denominator is our bottom number, always our bottom number, and it's a little bit easier to find. It's always the total number of each individual circle. The number of total pieces, not all the pieces together, but it's per fractional shape. So let's see if we can name these two fractions here. So in this first circle, I've got 2 shaded pieces. That's my numerator. And 3 total pieces. So this is going to be the fraction 2/3 is how we would say it, because 2 out of 3 pieces are shaded. When I've got, look at this other fraction over here, I see 2 pieces are shaded out of 4 total pieces. So I've got 2/3 and 2/4. And then I simply need to compare them. Greater than, less than, or equal to. Now there is a way for us to compare these fractions without even using a picture. Let me show you how we can do that. Now it's nice that they gave us a picture because we can use that to check our work. Take a look at here. When we compare fractions, if they both have the same denominator or they both have the same numerator, we can compare them without any type of representation. In this case, it's the numerator. 2 pieces, 2 pieces. Here's what we need to know about denominators, and it's kind of backwards thinking until you get used with fractions. But the larger the denominator, the smaller each piece is. So take a look at my thirds. I'm going to take the circle and I'm going to break it up into 3 parts. So you see how each of my parts are kind of big. Those are big chunks. If you ever have a pizza and break it up in thirds, those are not going to be normal size slices. They're going to be pretty big. But if I have 2 pieces and each piece is 1/4 of the fraction, I see this second circle over here, it's fourths. Look to see how my pieces are a little bit smaller, because I have to take that exact same size circle and break it up into 4 parts rather than 3 parts. So as my denominator gets bigger, each individual piece gets smaller. And you probably have had a pizza and have taken a 1/4. That's more of a doable piece, especially if it's a personal pan pizza. So let's look to see which of these fractions, these statements are true down here in our answer choices. Well, first we're going to go ahead and just get rid of these two. And the reason we're going to get rid of those two is because they don't even have the right fractions. 1/3 right here, that is the unshaded portion of this first fraction. And so that's just incorrect. So we're looking at 2/3 is greater or 2/3 is equal. Well, the only way for it to be equal is if they are the exact same size. They're not the same size. Now, you can have equivalent fractions that don't look the same if they represent the same amount, but 2/3 and 2/4 do not represent the same amount. So we are left with the only reasonable option left, and we can say 2/3 is greater than 2/4 because thirds are larger than fourths, because 3 pieces, each of those pieces is larger than 4 pieces.